It was always really cool to get to grow up born into the sport, watch my dad, get to see all my idols drive, and dreaming one day that I would get to compete against some of them and one day get in a race car myself. I remember going to the 2004 Laughlin Desert Challenge, always excited to get out of school, spend a 6-hour drive with my mom driving to Laughlin to go watch my dad race his Class 1 car and trophy truck at the Laughlin Challenge. I've grown up going to Glamis and the sand dunes my entire life. I'd have my little 80 Suzuki and my brother and I would always be racing each other and just always dreaming one day, you know, instead of going 15, 20 miles an hour through the whoops here, I'll be eventually going 120 in a trophy truck. Just growing up, always dreaming that one day. And then at the age of 10, getting in my own trophy car and race car and getting to compete against people and my brothers, it was just the thrill of a lifetime.
I'm sitting in class in elementary school. Whenever I wasn't paying attention in class, I was thinking of a trophy truck. I'd be riding a quad at 6, 7, 8 years old, little LT80 in Glamis, be daydreaming that I'm driving a trophy truck. So whenever I did different avenues like playing sports and doing extracurriculars after school, my heart was always in racing. I was very fortunate to go to college and run track at super prestigious programs like for the Oregon Ducks and the USC Trojans, but racing was where my head was at least a good 90% of the time. So I'm super fortunate that I'm able to do it after college, and to be able to team up with a guy like my brother is just a combination for success.
They loved the desert. They wanted to do more longer drives and stuff like that. So that's where we went. So I said, okay, let's start with a TrophyLite. Great class, not that expensive. All the cars are the same. They were pretty difficult to drive. So I figured if you could drive one of those, you could drive anything. Then we had the chance, they introduced the 6100 class, which I thought was an excellent class for somebody to learn in. Not a ton of horsepower, great working car. And we started out with a Geyser, and quickly after that got a Mason truck. And that's really where they cut their teeth on their own. They each had their own truck and they started going and they had some success.
So my first ever Mint 400 was in Class 6100 with my brother. We were fortunate enough to win the 2015 Mint 400 in the 6100 class by over 20 minutes, which is unheard of in a lot of these races. So we were really fortunate to have a team to get us to that level. And then next year was fortunate enough to hop in my first trophy truck. And that was my second ever race in a trophy truck. I think I had less than 500 miles in a trophy truck. And we finished fourth that year, which I would have never expected to get fourth place in my second ever race with the best competition in the toughest terrain in the United States. So it was almost like a dream come true.
So I was fortunate enough to win the Mint twice, both times in 1600, but I haven't won it overall in a trophy truck yet. And the Mint is just a whole different animal when it comes to competition. At races like the Baja 1000, you're gonna get 30 trophy trucks and guys are gonna team up with each other, but at the Mint, everybody that's somebody is gonna show up with the best they have and throw every wrench, every single strategy to try and win that race, because 60 trophy trucks are showing up and 20 of them have a shot at winning. So to be able to win a race like the Mint not only speaks huge volumes to the program, but speaks huge volumes to how talented of a driver you actually are, because in trophy truck, when I can say that 20 different drivers can win that race, I'm not kidding. For pretty much Brett and I's entire life, no opportunities were just given to us. We had to earn them, whether it was getting at least a 3.0 GPA in school, or excelling at sports, or graduating college. There was always a goal that was always set aside from racing. And now my brother and I work full-time jobs for the family business. And to be completely honest, I love it. It's the opportunity to follow my dad's footsteps and learn the business from the ground up, doing some of the lowest paying jobs and climbing up the ladder. It's humbling. And not only just to sit around and focus on driving, but to be able to put racing aside and focus on what actually pays for our racing just is awesome.
I don't think many people grow up saying that they're going to be involved in the beer business, and being born into a family business that my grandpa fortunately started back in the 60s, It's just, we never thought this day and age it would spiral out to get to the point where Christian and I would slowly be working our way up to the top and getting to work. And it makes you feel honestly grateful for everything you get, just all the work that we do, all the blood, sweat, and tears we put into our day jobs. That's how we race. That's how we make a living. It's what pays for everything. And just to be able to be a part of something like that, it really makes everything worth it. And you're super grateful going to the racetrack that because we're involved in such a great family company, we're out here competing. My brother's ultimately my biggest competitor. No matter what you do in life, I think you always want to be better than your brothers. So it was a weird relationship at first, always getting to race against my brother in short course racing and even in TrophyLite. We always had our own cars, but when it got to a point where we were moving up the classes pretty fast and it started getting more expensive and the races were getting longer, it made more sense for us to team up and split the races. And I think we make a hell of a team.
Our two driving abilities combined, I think, has enormous potential to be something really special. We had a lot of experience and success in 6-100 when we won a championship together, and I don't see any reason why we can't mirror that success in the trophy truck class.
Well, I have a 27-year relationship with BFGoodrich Tires, and the reason I have it is because, in my opinion, I've got to have an advantage on everything, or I'm going to try to. And whether I raced a limited buggy, an open buggy, a trophy truck, they have always, in my opinion, made the best tire out there that gave me the best chance to win.
Having a tire you can depend on is essential for any winning trophy truck team. We've had a relationship with BFGoodrich pretty much since my brother and I started driving with each other. We've gone out testing, tried to hit just about every rock, and the 40-inch tires that they make don't go flat very easily. You would have to make a huge driver error to puncture one of those tires.
We have a ton of confidence in the BFGoodrich brand. We've never had failures with them, and I think honestly right now they're the tire to beat.
Winning the Mint overall with my brother would just be flat out awesome. Brett and I had our first ever win together in Class 6-100 at the 2015 Mint, and just feeling how special that was for us, I still think about that almost every single day, how special that was. And to be able to win it overall with my brother sharing driving duties and my dad being the team manager, I honestly can't even put it into words right now because I'm starting to picture it in my head. But to be able to win the Mint just would prove to everybody and validate that the Sourapas brothers are serious and that we can contend at every race we show up to.
The Nevada desert, and especially where we race out there, you're not going to find anything tougher than that.
Winning the Mint 400 would honestly mean the world to me. Getting to check my brother and I's name off the list with guys like Rob McCachran, Andy McMillan, Bryce Menzies, Robbie Gordon, my dad even, just to name just a few people, you're putting your name with those guys as well. And just to even be in the same conversation as them would be extremely humbling.